All right. Hey, class. This is the video that you will watch if you missed class today, if you missed any of the Zooms. So if you came to all the Zooms today, then you don't have to necessarily watch this because this is an overview of what we did. So those who missed it can do it at home. So one thing that we're going to do every Monday is look at this week at a glance. And yesterday, as you can see, we did these one-on-one Zooms so we could look at technology together. So we didn't get a chance to check this out. So let's look kind of ahead for the week as far as what we're going to be doing. So for today, you have that morning meeting where we do the vocational question of the day. So we're going to go over that and then go over what you're supposed to do on your own, which is that CNN 10 or your daily journal. And then reading, we started chapter 1. So we're going to read that together on here. And then math, we looked at next dollar up strategy and I assigned some IXL work. So we'll do that together as well. Remember, tomorrow is no Zooms. There are no Zooms for anyone tomorrow. So you need to wake up and check YouTube because I'm going to have the video for Wednesday as far as what I'd like for you guys to do. Okay, and it'll be a short video just on what your assignments are. Thursday, we're going to continue with chapter 1. We're going to do some calendar for our math. And then Friday is kind of our Friday fun day. Miss Wright is getting together some art for us. We're going to go on a virtual field trip and we're going to play a game in our math group. Okay, so let's get off here and look at today. So first class is first. We have this vocational question of the day. So make sure that you get your pen and paper out if you've been doing that in a notebook or just a piece of paper, and get that out because here is your vocational question of the day. Would you want to work at a movie theater? So pause this so you can write down yes or no. And make sure that you're using complete sentences. So instead of just writing yes, you could say, yes, I do want to work at a movie theater. And you can use this right here to help you copy if you need help with spelling. Okay? All right, if you're not done, because I know I just didn't give you enough time, but that's the beauty of these videos. You can just pause and wait till you're ready to move on, okay? So we talked about the different jobs at a movie theater. So this would be a cool time for you to pause the video and share with someone that you're sitting with, whether it be mom or grandma or auntie or whoever. What are the different jobs that you could have in the movie theater? So brainstorm those, maybe from the person that takes your ticket to who else? What are the other jobs that you see? And just talk about it. Have a little conversation with the person that sits next to you when you're doing this work, okay? All right, so that was our 8 o'clock class. We went over the vocational question of the day. And then also don't forget that we always do our daily journal. So whether it looks like for you watching CNN 10 and doing a journal, or if you have like another question of the day where you're practicing your writing, pull that out of your binder and get that going, okay? All right, so for our reading class, we're going to go over chapter 1 and we're going to read that together. So I'm going to pull mine up and then you might want to pause and get your work out from your binder. So it's going to look like this. And actually, I'm going to go all the way up to the title page of our book. And we did some highlighting in the class today, so I'm going to share that with you, okay? So make sure that you get this out, and it should say like week of August 31st, and it should be right behind that in your black binder. And then get a highlighter out so you can highlight what we highlighted in our 9 o'clock class. Pause this video, get those things, and then come on back. Okay, so you should have this book in front of you, and we're going to read it. But you notice that I highlighted some things. So in class today, we discussed the title of a book and kind of the information that you might find on this cover page right here. So this is our cover page for our book that we're going to read for the entire month. Can you point to the title? What is the title of this book? New class rules. And you can highlight new class rules. Okay. And then down here, we have some extra information, and that is we have the author. Can you say author? And the illustrator. The author is who wrote the book. The illustrator is who did the pictures and the visuals for the book. Okay. So highlight your title of the book and then author and illustrator. Your second page is your table of contents. And you know what? We didn't highlight this, but let's highlight it. This page is called Table of Contents. Do you know what a table of contents is? What it tells us? It tells us how many chapters are in the book. It tells us what those chapters are called, what it has each name for the chapter, and then also which page they start on so we can find information faster in the book. We're going to be focusing on chapter 1 this week. But look, how many chapters are in this book? What's the last chapter you see? What's this number that I highlighted down here? 6. There are 6 chapters in our September book. So we're going to have to move fast to get all this done. I think we're going to finish it by like October 4th. So we're going to read about rules and we're going to learn about laws and rules in the community and rules at school. Okay. And usually in September, that's what we talk about. So now you're going to flip your page and you're going to see this. I have to scroll a little bit to find mine, but your very next page, dun, 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 where is it? Here we go. Is chapter 1, that's a rule. So this is the chapter that we're going to be reading, and we are starting off on page 1. So make sure you are where I am, because I'm going to read to you and you can follow along, okay? All right, so flip your page, page 2. The school year has started. Mr. Landry met his new class. Today, they talk about class rules. Let's highlight class rules because that's really what we're going to be discussing this week in class. Page 3. The students walk into class. They are talking to each other. The students play on their cell phones. They put their backpacks on the floor. Maybe pause this and turn to whoever you're sitting with or whoever's at the house with you and talk about what are the students doing that maybe is not so good? What are they doing that you kind of went, that's a rule. You shouldn't do that. Okay, it said they're talking to each other. The students play on their cell phones and they put their backpacks on the floor. I can tell you one of those rules is one that Miss McIntosh always said when we were in class. If not to you, then to a friend. Do you know which rule that is? Let's talk about it next time I see you on Thursday. So remember that, okay? Page 4. Mr. Landry sees a problem. Students cannot learn while talking. They cannot learn while playing on cell phones. Rules will help the students learn. Rules, let's highlight that. Rules will help the students learn. Flip to page 5. A rule says what you can or cannot do. There are rules at home, there are rules at school, and there are rules for games. Can you find rule or rules all the different times it's here on this page? Because that's what it's talking about. It's talking about a rule. And they keep us Well, that's the next page, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. But it tells us what we can and can't do. And they're everywhere. They're at home, they're at school, in games that you might play, you have rules. What are rules? Why do we have them? Let's look at page 6. Why do we have rules? Well, rules help keep people safe. Rules help people get along. And rules make things fair. Think about when we discussed school year decisions last week in that article, and we talked about rules and how they keep us safe. What were some of those rules? You need to wash your hands more frequently. You might need to, well, not might, if you come back on campus, you'll have to wear a mask. These are all rules that help keep us safe. Page 7. A law is a rule in a city or country. Leaders in the country make laws. Laws make things fair, and laws help keep people safe. A law is just like a rule, but it's not just in the classroom, it would be in the entire city of New Bern or in the United States. This is a law. Here's an example of one. What is a law? People have to stop at a stop sign. This law helps keep people safe. Can you think of any other laws when you're in the car with mom or grandma or dad or whoever? What is a law that you have to follow? And we shared in class a lot that were having to do with traffic and in the car. Like, what do you put on when you first get in the car? Your seatbelt. That's a law. It's a big rule. Page 9. What is a rule? Well, students should do their own schoolwork. This rule lets everyone learn. Okay? So we have a lot of different rules in school, and you might have some different rules at home or at home while you're doing your schoolwork. Hang tight, because that's going to be what our homework is. Last page. The class will learn more about rules and laws. They will learn how laws are made. They will work together to make rules. Great job. All right, so our homework let me find it, for our chapter 1 is to write and illustrate a rule, kind of make a rule poster. So what I did with our class, let me hit stop share. Oh, face got big. Okay, and let me do the whiteboard. So you have paper at the back of your binder. What I'd like for you to do is on this paper, I want you to write one classroom rule. Think about virtual. Think about at home. Okay? What are you doing? What's a good rule that you're following? Then I want you to draw it. Ooh, there we go. So give me an illustration and be prepared to share your rule poster on Thursday. We don't have Zoom tomorrow. So you have today and tomorrow to get this done so you can share out on Thursday. If you don't get on Zoom on Thursday, no big deal. Make sure you take a picture and share it with me so then I can share it with all the classmates and everybody can see each other's work. Okay? All right, great. Let me clear this because I think we're going to need it again. And if you need to, stop and rewind so you can go back and see what you need to do. All right, I'm going to share my screen back up to our last class, which is math. Okay, so math today we talked about next dollar up strategy, and we're going to watch a little video looking at that. and do a couple examples together. So you're going to need either your dry erase board and marker, or even just a notebook, okay, piece of paper and pencil. I'm going to do things on the whiteboard and you can kind of follow along. And then independent work on iExcel. I've assigned you money math. It's not going to look like Miss McIntosh is making you do this lesson. It's going to just show up when you log into iExcel. It's going to say a suggestion of something that I want you to work on. And I do want you to work on that money. So hopefully it pops up and that works. All right, so before we do the examples together, we're gonna watch, this lady made a video. I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel. She did a beautiful job, so we're gonna watch her example on what is the next dollar up strategy, okay? All right, let's see if this works. I'm gonna make the screen big. Okay, let's watch her first example together.
Today we're going to talk about the next dollar up strategy, and that's a strategy you can use when you're making purchases or buying things online. So what the strategy is basically when there's an amount and there's change attached to it, you just add up to the next dollar amount so that it's easier to calculate your money. So for example, this pack of Clorox wipes costs $5.15. So anything to the right of the decimal point is the change. So for the next dollar up strategy, to avoid having to count out 15 cents, we're going to change it to the next dollar up. So how to do that is you can cover the change. So anything after the decimal point, we're going to cover it. And this is $5. So we're going to say $5. But because there is still change, we're going to think of the number that comes after 5. So what comes after 5? 6. So that means that we need $6 to buy these Clorox wipes, because 6 is one more than 5, and because there's some change, we're going to add one more dollar to make it $6. Next, we have this.
Cool. Okay, so let's do that together. So I'm going to stop share. I'm gonna pull up my whiteboard, and while I'm doing that, get you a notebook or get your dry erase board. Pause this and get your materials so we can look at some things together, okay? All right, so we're going to say, let's see if this works. I wanna see if this works. We're gonna say Miss McIntosh is buying, uh-oh, of course I didn't spell that right, a coffee. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. Okay, so there's my coffee. Okay, and my coffee costs $2. It's fancy coffee from Starbucks, and 35 cents. So write that on your page. Ooh, that was rough. Sorry. Okay, so I have $2.35. Now, let's do exactly what she told us to do. We want to cover up that change. We still have to pay for it, but we're going to use the next dollar up strategy, which means we're just going to do dollars. We don't want to count out change when I'm at Starbucks buying my coffee. So I'm going to forget, whoops. I'm going to forget about the 35 for now. Okay? I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to just focus on what is to the left of the decimal point, which is what number? 2. Just looking at the dollars. So anything left to the decimal point. So I'm looking at 2. So I know I need $2, but I still have to pay for that change. So using the next dollar up, we always add 1. No matter what, you're always adding a dollar for that change. So what's 2 plus 1? Or the next dollar up, where you can just count up, is 3. So if something costs $2.35, I'm going to go ahead and give my cashier $3. and that will cover my coffee. Okay, I'm gonna hang on this for a second and give you an opportunity if you need to pause, and I'll go a little slower with the next one, but I'm gonna clear this. Okay, what do we want to buy next? Let's see, maybe we want to buy popcorn. Maybe we're working at that movie theater and we want to eat some popcorn. Okay, so we have our popcorn, and popcorn at the movies is expensive, unfortunately. So we're going to say that the popcorn is $4 decimal point, whoops, maybe, decimal point, and 58 cents, okay? Of course, I pick an 8, which is like super hard to draw. Okay, so we have our popcorn for $4.58. Let me redo my 8. That was just pitiful. Okay, that was better. All right, what do we do? We're going the next dollar up. We're not counting out. We're not going to count out 58 cents, okay? So we're going to forget about the 58 for now, and we're going to focus on what? $4. We're going to focus on the left of that decimal point. We're going to focus on the dollars. But we still have to pay for the change, so we always count up by 1. Just count up by 1. What is 4 plus 1? What's the next number if I'm counting? 1, 2, 3, 4. The next number is 5. That's adding 1. It's just counting up. So I know if I want to buy my popcorn, I can give her $5 and I don't have to count out the change. Great job. All right, those were our examples together. If you need to stop and go back and look at those again, on IXL, it's not going to be next dollar up. It's going to be some other math money. Whoops, hit the wrong button. I've lost you. Okay, but definitely that is your independent work, is getting on there and doing that IXL, okay? 2 other little reminders. Remember that this coming up Thursday, we have a Project Unify meeting. So if that's something you're interested in learning more about, that is after school at 2:45. And then we are spotlighting a student every week. And so this week we are spotlighting Stephen for doing such a wonderful job. So he got a Bear Up card and is put in the running for Student of the Week at New Bern High School. Okay, so there was our 8 o'clock class. There's everything that you need to do for it. Pay attention to that independent work. Our 9 o'clock class, we read that chapter, and you need to make your rule poster. And then our 10 o'clock class was math, and you have some work assigned to you in IXL. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions, and be on the lookout for the YouTube video for tomorrow, because Wednesday we do not Zoom at all. Okay? All right. Have a good one. Bye.